What up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video for you guys. Now this video comes from Ali's and Fatty's podcast, one of their live panels that they had recently with Pearl on the panel. Now Pearl came on the panel and she triggered the girls, she triggered the black girls on the panel, and it went kind of left. So I want to give my take on it. I want to give my thoughts on what Pearl had to say and if it warranted the women on the panel getting triggered. I want to give my thoughts and my perspective, and I want you to chime in and give your thoughts as well in the comments below. But before we hop into the video, make sure if you like the content, you are subscribed to the channel. Also share and like the video and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right, so we're gonna hop into what triggered everybody and why this panel went left, which caused Pearl to leave the panel. And also she did, her reaction on her channels about this as well. But I want to go ahead and chime in and y'all let me know what y'all think. Was Pearl wrong, or was she did she do anything wrong? I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, but let's hop into the video. Here we go.
We're biologically hardwired to, did you say we're biologically hardwired to want chaotic, criminal,
well, dominant? Yeah, dominant, because you got to think of like Ted Bundy. He had women. He had women writing him love letters. He impregnated a woman. He impregnated a woman while he was in prison for women. This is a real Luigi Mangione.
I don't think that's a woman thing. I think that's a thing that certain women do.
Well, you are correct.
There's no.
Hold on, Jazz, let her land, and you respond. You going to get the mic? Let her land.
Not every woman does that. There's different levels of dominance. However, we are still attracted to dominant men, and that does come in the form of, if a man can kill someone else, we know he can protect us biologically. So,
listen, I don't see. So far, she's absolutely right. Women will tell you this themselves, and this is what a lot of women are grappling with, the idea of a masculine man versus a feminine man. Women are saying these modern men are sassy and they're feminine and they're not like they used to be, even though the men that they've dated in the past who had the masculine traits that they like, they still couldn't make those relationships work. But it is definitely something that women are attracted to. It's something within, our biochemistry or something, because I even asked myself why so many women are attracted to what they consider a bad boy. Why so many women are attracted to the guys who have that edge or that, that swag, but also the ones who end up getting into trouble or doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. The guys who sell the drugs, the guys who are in that street life. There are a lot of women who like to pick the scammers, the guys that may be a little bit risque when it comes to the way they live their lives and the way they move. A lot of women are attracted to that. They don't care that he might end up in jail. They don't care that he might get in trouble with the law. They like the guys who are rough around the edges, who take that risk, and also who bring fast money. This is what now this may not be every woman, of course, but a lot of women are attracted to the masculine guys with that type of mentality. And on top of that, there are a lot of women who seek men in prison to date and marry now, and we know that that's the thing. There's a whole website set up for women who want to have babies with men who are in prison, who want to date these men, who want to go and have a life with and marry these men as well. So it is not uncommon that this is happening, and this is a well-known fact. Now, is this every woman? No, but nothing's everybody. But there are women who would prefer those types of guys, and for the most part, most women want a guy who's edgy. They consider a guy who's not that way, they consider him lame or boring, or he don't have no swag or no nothing. Even I've seen Christian women who say that the Christian men are lame and boring. They don't have no edge. They don't have no personality. They don't have no swag. So they're looking for a man who will suit their preferences, both in masculinity and in other areas as well. And this is what a lot of women are having a hard time finding. Remember that Tupac in a suit? You want Tupac swag and his attitude and all of his look, but you want him to be monogamous. You want him to treat you like a lady. You want him to be gentle, but also masculine in the areas where you deem them important. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the thing. But let's continue.
That just is what it is.
So you find you equate dominance with, you find a man that can dominate and harm a woman attractive?
That's one way that men describe it, or that's one way that men do it, and women do select those men. So I try not to apply morality to this, good or bad, it doesn't matter, because women do pick criminals. Criminals are men that have committed a violent crime are actually more likely. They are more likely to reproduce than men that haven't. So I didn't make this world. You know, I didn't make women.
Now, I think when she says that, I think that speaks to the Pookie and Ray Ray types. The ones that we talk about is a small percentage. I don't think it's the majority, especially in our communities, but if you're looking overall, because, and if that is the case, and I don't have stats in front of me, but we talk about that percentage of men who who impregnate all of the women who are single. Just about all of these women that we see on social media and outside of social media, I can attest to a lot of them myself. I grew up around it. A lot of these women have made babies with guys who they consider deadbeats. They created life with a guy that they no longer want to be with. They consider him no good. They consider him a guy that they don't want to be with. Oh, he's a dusty and he this, but you gave him babies. And you have multiple baby mothers who have given these children, each one of these kids, to a guy that they consider a narcissist and abusive, a deadbeat, no good. She don't want to have anything to do with him after she's given him a child. So we see this right in front of us, but I think when it, depending on who's saying it, it could be triggering if you don't like the messenger. And so far, I think that's what we're seeing. And especially with a lot of Black women, they already have made it clear that they don't want to hear a white woman or anybody of any other race have anything to say when it comes to the Black community. But the gag is you still don't want to hear from Black women or Black men. That is the part. There's still a whole lot of pushback when Black women like myself and others and Black men bring up these same topics or same discussions. It's still met with pushback and disbelief and ridicule and shaming and all of that as well. So I don't think, as a Black community, people who are in denial and delusional to what's really happening don't want to hear from anyone. But y'all, let me know what y'all think. Let's continue.
Right, love letters.
Has that been your experience? Like, are you attracted to criminals?
Well, to be fair, I don't know many criminals. So that hasn't been my experience personally.
What about the people in your environment?
I've interviewed 1,000 people. A good chunk of them did, procreate and date men with felonies. That's not uncommon. So
okay,
especially in the Black community, if we're going to be honest, that's
well, yeah. Well, and I was going to say,
so I don't know why you're pretending to not know what I'm talking about. You can gaslight these simps, but you can't gaslight me. Chica.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think you know anything about the Black community, but I will say about the white community. It's a lot of white women that find men who other women attractive. Those are the women that were
true, but I won't gaslight you about it. I won't gaslight you. I would say that's true. That's true. There are white women that do that.
I can't hear you.
Yeah,
hold on real quick. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna say it again. Hold on real quick, Pearl.
I can't hear you while I'm talking. I don't even know why she even brought up the Black community.
You can't say that until she lands. Like I want you to right now. We got strong personalities on the panel. Please let the person finish and then respond. You can't say the person interrupted you and why you talking over me while I'm talking if you already interrupted the person. Let her finish. You the first person that can respond to her, Jazz. You the first person. Just let her land.
I did let her land.
No, you didn't let her land, Jazz.
Okay. It's fine. Let's start now.
Okay, well, you asked me why I brought it up, the Black community, because you're Black, so you would know. Because I don't. The same reason you brought up the white community, because I'm white.
I didn't have
eyes,
If you're done, first of all, that's very disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful.
This was a conversation about.
Hey, friends, we don't need ad libs. Jess can handle it. Let her handle it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So like I said,
again,
we
we're
were talking
offended. Next.
Go ahead, Jess. Let Jess
no,
finish,
no,
please. Let's go ahead, Jess.
Now, tell me, look, and you could disagree or agree. What was wrong with her, bringing up the Black community? Because first off, we got to be honest about it. Jazz made it personal when she asked her if she's had that experience. Instead of keeping it general, she's asked Pearl specifically, is that your experience? And she went back to the people that she's interviewed. So I think Jazz made it a personal thing, whether she realized it or not. She made it personal by asking her if that is her experience. And she didn't ask her if that was her experience. But then after that, she then said, if she's brought up the Black community. And listen, now I'm just saying, why are we so triggered by outside people bringing up our community when we are freely able to bring up their communities? Because Jazz did ask her if that's something that happens within personally, if that's something you've experienced or people you've been around, which would refer to her community. That's not disrespectful, but it's disrespectful if she brings up the Black community. Why can't we just argue our points and not get offended by every little thing that somebody says? Because listen, if you have your preference or you have statistics or you have whatever your idea is, you just keep pushing that way. It shouldn't be an offensive thing. You should be able to have a conversation and back up whatever it is you're saying, or give your opinion or stats or whatever you have based on what the other person is saying. So if for instance, if she brought up the Black community, because you're Black, you would know what's going on in your community. Listen, we talk about, I'm Black. I talk about the Black women in our communities and how the degeneracy and all of that. But I get pushback of people saying, why are you talking about the things why you don't talk about the good stuff? It's always going to be pushback, whether you're Black, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're white, it doesn't matter. Women in our community, they don't want to hear any type of constructive criticism. They don't want to hear anything that's going to hold them accountable or speak to the degeneracy in our communities that is related to them. Anything that's related to Black women in our community who are at the bottom of the spectrum in our communities, they're always going to have pushback. It don't matter who you are. So it's not the fact that Pearl is white. It's not the matter. It's not whether she brings up what's happening in the Black community. I bring up what's in the Black community, and these same Black women don't like it. They don't like it no matter who it's coming from. So that's just that don't make sense to me. It doesn't matter who you are. As long as you're pointing out some toxic behavior within our community and it deals with women, because listen, you could talk about the men all day. They don't give a damn what you say negatively about Black men. I don't see a bunch of these women. I could wake up tomorrow and do a video about Black men ain't ish. And they turn around and they do this and they do it. And I will get a whole bunch of women amen that and accepting that and be happy to hear it. But as long as you're saying what Black women are doing and you're calling them out on their negative behavior, they don't, you're pick-me's, you're mammies, you're this, you're that, you hate your mama, all kinds of things. You don't like women, you're not a girl's girl, all kinds of stuff. But as soon as, so it, to me, and it's just my thoughts, it doesn't matter who speaks out on it, they still don't like it. If you can call out something in the white community, they should be able to call something out in the Black community. It shouldn't matter. You still can give your perspective and the reasons why you feel the way you feel, or whatever it is you want to, present or rebut towards that statement or whatever it is. It shouldn't be a defensive thing, because we know that there are certain things that go on in our community as well as other communities. That's how I feel about that. But let's continue.
We were speaking about relationships in general. Nobody said anything about Black or white until you brought it up, and for what reason, I don't know. It didn't add anything to the conversation. First of all, you're speaking on the nature of women and how we are all naturally attracted to men who are criminals, and then you made a point to say, in particular, excuse me, no, that is not the case at all for Black women. Now, if you're talking about people that are in poverty, people that live in certain situations, and
60% of Black men have been arrested by the.
Can you stop cutting her off?
One second. Hey, friend, one second. I got you.
He's cutting me off.
I got you, Jess. You don't have to ask. I got you.
Sorry.
You all right?
Crashing out.
Bro,
my bad.
Just make some.
Now wait, to say it's absolutely untrue that black women choose criminals, that's not true within itself. There are a lot of educated black women who choose men who have been in prison, who are, choosing, street life. There are women who choose that. There are women who you would consider educated and uneducated women as well, who like them a good dope boy. And some of them who actually help them in that process. So there are women who do it. Would I say it's the majority? Probably not, but it does exist. So both of their points exist. It exists. There are black women who choose guys who are in the streets, definitely. So it's not like she's just straight telling a lie. There is some truth to what they're saying. But I mean, to say it just is absolutely untrue and it doesn't exist, that's absolutely untrue. It does exist. It does. Let's continue.
Ouch, Pearl. Let her finish. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, that's my fault.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead, Jess. Uninterrupted.
It's just weird that you would even have to bring up a race of people to even have the conversation, which lets me know that you don't really have information on the conversation. You're just spewing points to try to get a rise out of people because that's all you know. As it pertains to why women choose the women they want or the kind of men that they date, there are so many different reasons for that. You can't equate a person that has a felony to them being a violent criminal. That's not always the case, because I agree there are some people that marry men and women that have felonies in their background. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are violent. And then to say that black women are the most prone to violent criminals within our community, you don't know shit about our community, Pearl. And if we're going to talk about what's happening, if we're going to make it about a race thing, let's figure out what's going on in these white communities, in these white homes, when you all are raising all the mass shooters, y'all raising kids that are taking guns to shoot at other kids, y'all going into public spaces. And I'm sure you're going to talk about black on black crime or whatever, but we can debunk all of that because that's through proximity. The point is that you didn't have to make it about black or white. Keep it general, because it's very disrespectful for you to try to pigeonhole black women when you don't know any of us at all, to make that assumption that that's what we are prone to. None of these women on this stage, myself, Tyranny, or even Athena, are dating any man that is of a criminal or that are violent. So watch what you say up here. You got a really smart mouth. And if you're going to have the conversation, try to be respectful. And all this trying to get me to hurry up, I'm going to take my motherfucking time.
Oh my God. Can we do
Hey, there was rules. She has the, hey, friends, we don't need it. When she lands, Pearl will have all the chance to reply. Everybody going to be quiet. Go ahead. You done, Jess?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't understand why that was accepted. Like that was.
Wait. 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
We shouldn't accept what she said.
To say that you should know as a black woman because you all date criminals when you
Jess, 1 second. So this is my opinion, Jess, and correct me if I'm wrong. She punched you in the face. You have the right to punch her back. Right? Is that fair? If you felt that she punched you in the face, I have an opinion about this that I'm going to say later, right? But we are letting you defend yourself. We're not. You're going to have 2 chances to land your plane, and Pearl is going to have the chance to actually rebuttal what you said. Do you think that's fair? What do you want to do? Can we go on? I want to make sure so everybody knows where we at.
We can move on. I think she
okay. Go ahead, Pearl, and then we go back to the panel.
Okay, so you can tone police the simps and women that respond to shame, but you're not going to tone police me. So anyways, going back to the stats, the reason that I said that was 2 reasons. The first is that I interviewed 1,000 people. A good chunk of them were black women. And I just noticed that they had a propensity more likely than other races to date criminals. It's not really an insult. As I could go into details about the types of men white women tend to date that are irresponsible. I've just noticed different trends in different communities, and it's kind of backed up by data because 60% of black men have been arrested by the age of 25. So, it's not to be rude, but I think it's more common in that community than it is other communities. In terms of mass shooters, I think you said white people are the majority of mass shooters. I would say that's true. And I wouldn't crash out on you for saying that. So again, if you want to get offended, that is a choice, and that is your choice, and you have the right to do that. So
now my thing is this. Okay, I think Jazz has valid points. And I think we, as a black race of people, we get offended when we hear white people call out certain things about us, or make generalizations or say things that we don't believe are true, because we've had this discussion as well about, you know, who commits the most crimes, and then you have people who want to break it down per capita, and then how, you know, and then that white folks have a larger demographic than we do, and therefore they commit the most crimes, which they're starting to see that as well, that, you know, you see white people coming out saying that, you know, white people are the biggest recipients of food stamps and welfare. White people are the biggest majority group, the biggest group that commit the majority of the crimes. We're starting to see even white folks come out and realize this and accept that. If there are some who are still trying to portray the black community as the worst of the worst, at this point we have a bunch of educated women and men who can rebuttal that, who can, you know, go against that. But it should be able to be done in a way that is respectful and not be so emotional. You know, it's almost as if we are and the powers that be know this. They know that the black community is so easily triggered by race, rage bait, if you will. We're easily triggered by that. We're easily triggered by the opposite race or anybody outside of our group. They know exactly what to say to trigger us, and that kind of helps. We lose our footing, and we lose our, you know, our points and the messaging, because we get triggered and then they start going into name calling. And we start cussing and we start losing sight. And once we lose sight of what the purpose is, we're just all over the place at that point. And I think they know that. They know what to use to trigger us. We're watching in politics and in every other area. It's politics, they know to use race. They know to say, oh, this person is racist. And we get all in our feelings and we start acting accordingly without really looking at what the real goal is and what our plan should be and how we should strategically move in order to counter this messaging from the other side. But we lose our footing because we get emotional and we start cussing and we go off. They know how to trigger us. So I think we need, as a race of black people, we need to start learning how to not be triggered, but to stay on the course and stay focused on where we're going with whatever it is we're trying to push, the agenda or whatever, and not be so easily triggered because it's a white person or somebody outside of our group saying something that may have some truth to it. It may not be the 100% true, but there is some truth to it. Instead of ignoring the emotions and the feelings that come with that, I think we should focus on group coming together and finding a solution to counter the things that are negative within our community, or do things that will benefit our community for the better. If we have, you know, black on black crime, which we do, it may not be the percentages that others may say, but we know it exists. What are we going to do to try to counter that or combat that, and do something that's going to better that situation or circumstance, instead of just getting triggered when somebody say that it exists? Because just the sheer fact that somebody saying that it exists, whether they're saying it's more or less, it still exists. So as long as we're triggered by somebody bringing it up, we'll never be able to get to the solution to fix the problem. That's my thoughts on that part. Let's continue.
I want to touch on this, and then I want CJ and Rick the ruler to pull up, and the rest of the panel. Okay, Tyranny, I see you too. So, coming from a world citizen, right? Because I live in Portugal right now. It's 2 a.m. and Pearl was in the UK for a while too. This is not a black woman thing. If you go to Japan, all those women love the Yakuza until they get older. If you go to Brazil, all those women love the kid from the favela before they get older. If you come to Europe, all these women love the guys that ride on the Hell Angels. Like, women like danger. They are emotional junkies, right? And I believe that Jazz actually pinpoints what it is when you put together people that are emotional junkies, which is most young women, and you put poverty together, you are going to get massive results. And in my opinion, this is why the black community in the United States is hyper exposed to these situations, is because you are mixing two components that are very dangerous. Is the level of poverty. People live on a lower socioeconomic level, and they are addicted to bad boys, because that's what women do. You can go to any white college and see exactly the same type of behavior. The chads are getting all the women. That's the reality. The bad boy, the football star. Like, we know this is something that is a woman thing. It's just more exacerbated depending on the communities, the culture, and all that. So
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's not just a black thing, it is a woman thing, because that's somehow women are attracted to that. Even women themselves are coming out saying, hey, they don't know why, they are attracted to the bad boys. They meet good guys, but they would prefer the bad guy versus the good guy. And they're asking the question as to why are they doing that? What's wrong with them? They're asking this question themselves, why they are so gravitated to the bad guy. They like when a guy talks to them crazy. The guy that's respectable and say, talk to them in a respectable manner, it doesn't do it for him. But the one that, that exhibits some type of controlling behavior or some type of aggressive kind of behavior is what they gravitate to. And then it's the very thing that they complain about in the end. So this is a woman thing, and it is something to be studied, because there are a lot of women who choose those types of guys. And admittedly so. They say, hey, I met good guys and nice guys who would be a good guy, but he's not for me, because that doesn't do it for you. You need that edge. You need that guy who's gonna, I don't know what it is they're looking for, but I know it's the guy that's more of the aggressive type that women end up complaining about. So yeah, he's right. The athletes, the guys that every girl wants. This is why we say the majority of these women are looking for the same type of guy, and they only have but so many. And a lot of these women are sharing those same men. They would rather share that guy than go get a good guy who is considered lame in their eyes, because they're not going to be happy with him. It's a real thing. We can't ignore it. Let's continue.
I actually believe that both of y'all are right on their own way. We can't, unfortunately, just be against something because it triggers our feelings. Okay, friends?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, one second, please. I didn't finish. One second, I didn't finish. You know what's funny, Tyranny? You did exactly. Tyranny. Hey, Tyranny.
Can I speak, Daddy?
I have a Black Panther in my arm.
But you're not representing her.
Respect me. 1 second, please. The pro-black shit is not going to work against me.
Facts, Fatty.
Right?
Unfortunately.
No, Tyranny, stop. Like Tyranny, you can't tell me myself that I depict Black woman in any kind of way that is negative, because I avoid it. But what we have to do is be fair. If she was talking about Black men, I don't think y'all will have the same type of smoke.
They would not. Now, I agree wholeheartedly with what Fatty just said, and I said it earlier. They don't give a damn about black women. A lot of these Black women don't give a damn about Black men. You could speak all type of ill will towards Black men, and they won't say a word in defense of them. So if they're gonna talk about pro-Black argument, I don't think most women are pro-Black, especially when it comes to men. They act like they hate men. Now, is this every single Black woman? No, but it's a lot of them who have this disdain for men, call them bullet bags and all types of stuff that we know exists and that they say. So yeah, you could throw out pro-Black, because that would include the Black man, and a lot of these women dismiss Black men with the quickness. And if Pearl hadn't come on the show and it was just everybody up here Black, it would be a pushback against men versus women. Black women versus Black men. In the Black community, Black women and Black men are separate. There's no family unit there. There's no unity between them, because a lot of women don't see Black men as anything special. They don't respect them for the most part. They don't look at them in a high regard. So they're saying negative things about them constantly, but you don't hear a bunch of women in droves defending Black men. And the ones that do defend Black men, the Black women don't like them. So what am I missing here? So it's just another way, it's another excuse, in my opinion, to say, oh, this white girl shouldn't be up here. Basically, I've seen this happen before on panels. Well, why is she even here? Why is she even here if it's a different race of woman? Why is she even allowed to speak? Why is she in these spaces? Because listen, if you don't want to listen to the people in your space, it doesn't matter if they bring somebody outside of the space who may be familiar with the culture and familiar what's going on, and interview people who resemble what you're talking about. If they have experience interviewing and talking to those people, why shouldn't that be valid enough? You don't have to be Black to understand what's going on. And so I just think it's a way to dismiss another person and use the idea that that person is outside the race, that they shouldn't be in here saying anything, when you don't even want to listen to the people within the race of what they're saying when it doesn't fit your narrative. Let's continue.
She was talking about black men. She said most of y'all are in jail. And none of y'all heard that.
No.
There
was not. Hey, Pearl, did you say most black men go to jail?
I said a stat. I said a stat that 60% of black men have been arrested by the age of 25.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the correct stat? One second. Just 1 second. Is this stat correct?
You can Google it.
I know that 12%. I know 12% have been incarcerated.
But she never said that.
I will say these, right? 1 second, please, friends. 1 second. I will say these. 1 second, please. 1 second. 1 second.
It's weird.
I will say these. Hey, please, friends.
We're not even
too excited.
Goodness.
Arrests are not convictions. I want to see the number of convictions, because arrests are not convictions. Just because somebody gets a stop and frisk, and they have like arrests are not convictions. I want to know the number of convictions so I can actually understand if these women are
consider the exoneration data as well.
And I speak
because we
Hey, CJ, relax. DJ, relax. I see you, brother.
We actually lead as black people. First of all, we already know why that stat could be
60%
high.
is pretty bad, though.
It's 50%.
I just looked up the stat you asked for.
But 100% of y'all fuck your dogs. What the fuck are we talking about?
Hey, 1 second, please. Hey, 1 second, please. Hey, 1 second, 1 second. Hey, we please, respectfully, we literally are going to stop the show and close it out. If y'all like, the conversation became racial, it was Pearl that actually did it, okay?
No reason.
And we are trying to figure out, 1 second, we are trying to figure out if this is based on stats or not. The fucking cousins and fucking dogs, you can statistically prove that shit, okay?
All right,
so what we're going to do is, CJ, what is the percentage of black men that are convicted of a crime?
I didn't look up the
convicted of a crime before at 18.
I didn't look up the convicted stat. I
just looked it up.
Black men are arrested by age 25. Not most, but 49% of them are. So
okay, but that's irrelevant because arrest records, like we need the convictions, because you're not become a criminal because you were arrested. You become a criminal when you get convicted.
33% of black people have felonies.
What's the percentage?
33%.
Approximately 33% of African American adult males have a felony record, which includes those who have been convicted of crimes. I'd have to dive in deeper to find like what age group, but her stats were correct about arrest. And that might be something that people use, like, again, inflammatory statements, obviously, for content purposes. But yeah, it is 33% of adult males. So
I really wanted to say something else. So women want to control the uncontrollable, but they're going to shit test you to see, are you really uncontrollable? So if they get that control over you, they'll say, this ain't the nigga I thought he was. He is controllable, right? So that's kind of why they like chaos. So once they get there, they're kind of miserable in the fact that they like the uncontrollable. So they don't like being on either side of the fence. They don't like the fact that they like the uncontrollable. But then they try to wrestle the controller from you to see if you're uncontrollable. It's a weird dynamic. And Pearl is not wrong. Most black women are more attracted to, they have a higher propensity to be attracted to those men. I don't know why y'all got offended and expect black power. That's where this racist shit come from.
Now, listen, I think I was trying to understand where he was coming from, and I think I get what he was saying. How it's sort of like, women, you want to be able to control a man, but you don't want to be able to, you want him to have some control too, to a degree. Because if you're able to just control him and make him do whatever it is that you want, you're not going to respect him. And you're not going to, you know what I mean? You're not going to respect him. And you're not going to want him. But if he allows you to have some type of control, but then checks you at the same time and bring that control back and stop you and don't let you take it too far, it's like they like that in a sense. This is why I say a lot of black women are batshit crazy. A lot of them are. It's a confusing mental aspect that they have not checked. You want a level of, I want a masculine man. I want a man who gonna tell me what to do. But can you tell me what to do? Or Like, but then it's like you don't want to be controlled, but you do. It's like a certain level of control that you want versus, you know, it's like a level. You can't have too less of it and you can't have too much of it. You can't have too much dominance and control over, because then she's going to feel controlled, and then that's going to be a problem. Then she's going to call you controlling and manipulative and everything else. But it has to be a level of control to let her know that you are in control. But she want to still be able to push your buttons without you going too far, but enough to put her back in her place, and somehow they like that. So if you're just a nice guy who's not about the games and not about all the foolishness, and you just a man and you have your standards and you have what you have, they don't like that, because you're not going to allow her to have any control over you. So it's a weird dynamic, and I get what he's saying, but there are a lot. That's how a lot of women think. And I agree that there shouldn't have been any pushback, because it's not like she's saying anything that's untrue. But I think this is our problem. You can't stand anyone to say anything, but then and use it. Oh my God, you're white and you're not allowed to say anything about our community. What the hell do you know about the Black community? But people who know very much about the Black community, raised in it, entrenched in the foolishness, entrenched in the degeneracy, entrenched in this horrible behavior, we can't say anything either. Y'all push back against that too. Women are the problem, in my opinion. And women hate other women. Black women hate other Black women who speak on their foolishness. And remember, it's not every woman. If this is not you, it shouldn't be taken offensively. You should be the one standing up for it and saying, you know what, sister, sis is right. We need to make a change. But there's more women who are saying, oh my God, pick me. Oh, I hate these old pick me women defending men. You just don't want to listen. You just hate men so much. You don't want to hear the truth about your own nature. You just want everybody to keep dogging men and saying men are this and men. And as long as a Black woman could say, oh, this amount of men are in jail, they're irresponsible, they don't take care of their kids, they don't want to get married. As long as women could say the negative-ish about the Black man, it's okay. But as soon as somebody's point out their behavior that's outside the race, oh my God, you shouldn't even be speaking on Black. So Black women, for the most part, want to be able to speak negatively about their own men in their community, and they don't want any pushback from anybody. So it doesn't matter who you are. Once again, whatever you're saying that points out the foolishness, they don't want to hear it. You just want to put it all on Black men and be in a comfortable space to do so. Let's continue.
I told y'all before, it's the Black women that want us to get us into this space.
Can you coon later?
Can I finish? Can you
coon later?
It's the Black women that want to get us into this space.
Hold on, let them land.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Now that's disrespectful, yo. For you to tell somebody on a panel, can you coon? That's disrespectful. The very ones who like to say everybody else is disrespectful are actually the disrespectful ones. Now that's just, you can't have a conversation and let people get their point out and then you get your, why do people have to be cool? Like that's very disrespectful. Let's continue.
Control, hey Tyranny, don't mute yourself if I mute you. Go ahead, CJ.
So yeah, I think they want to get us into a war that we can't win so they can go and be with the white man. And that's a different topic, but sorry.
Tyranny, you have the chance to reply and then I'll get the best of the people that haven't talked. Especially Big Rick, right? What did CJ said that was wrong? It's a battle of ideas. 1 second, Tyranny. Remember, this is the battle of ideas. You have uninterrupted time to prove CJ that what he said is wrong. No name calling for now. Later we can do it. Let's prove CJ wrong. Why is he wrong that most Black women are attracted to this type of man?
Pearl, no, we're not attracted to them. Their men want us. That's why they really hate us. Because they can't.
That was not the question.
That's it.
That was not the question.
You're wrong.
That was not the question. No, Tyranny, you have to be. 1 second. I talk again. Tyranny, 1 second. Tyranny, 1 second. Tyranny.
Half of Black women have herpes. Like.
Hey, 1 second. 1 second. No, 1 second. 1 second. Pearl.
Hey, for real.
No. Hey, everybody. 1 second. Now, 1 second. Stop talking. Stop talking. Pearl, let me ask you something, Pearl. Are you trying to get a reaction of us?
No.
Pearl. 1 second, Pearl. I'm asking you a serious question, right? Because we had you on the panel once, and Andrew Wilson was with us, right? And Andrew Wilson all of a sudden starting to do FUBU remarks and talking about Black brands and all that. And I asked him, hey, brother, I see your content all the time. You usually don't talk like this. So my question is, and be honest about it, is there any other statements you're doing today, statements that are made to trigger the crowd that you have right now?
I actually came here prepared because I thought the topic was black fatigue. So I came prepared with stats, facts, data, and statistics. I came,
but the topic is not black fatigue, right?
That's what we spoke about.
No, but is the topic black fatigue?
That's what you told me the topic was.
No. I'm asking. 1 second, please. Is the topic black fatigue?
No, I invited. Hold on, Pearl. I invited you, right? And I told you already that the next topic would be black fatigue. We already addressed it. But what is the relevant part about making it about race when we're here about the relationships? Why go straight? That's twice. That's going to trigger people. And now if they start saying stuff about white people, now we're going to have a race war. We want to have the conversation and intentional about the relationships, but it is turning into race conversation instead of a relationship conversation. That's all we're addressing. We want to have the conversation, but it's becoming a race conversation.
It's interesting.
And we will have the race conversation, the black conversation. Hold on real quick, Big Rick. We want to have the black and white conversation too, but when it's said, when it's almost like it's said to instigate or stir something up, it seems like it's becoming racial. You're saying something.
What I thought was that we were adults here and we could talk about facts, data, and statistics without getting upset. Maybe we're not. I don't know.
No. If I did,
it's not that, right?
Yeah,
for example,
you don't
off
have
the
to
cuff,
just because the girls are getting upset.
No, that's not. Carl, that's not the case, right? For example, we were having a conversation about criminals, and you say black woman after herpes. Like it's a very
that's true. She said that she actually brought it up first, and you guys are talking to me. She brought it up first.
No, Pearl, you brought up the fact that black women like criminals, and then when she said, what if she said that white women like men who smell like dogs? Then it becomes racial.
I don't mind. That's okay. I don't get offended. One side's getting offended.
So as long, but look, just know that if that happens, then it becomes a racial conversation.
But I mean, okay, and I get what Ali is saying, but to me, when the lady Jazz said, "Is that what you're around? If have you dealt with someone like that?" That made it personal, and then that made it racial. She just didn't say, "Oh, do you like white criminals?" She didn't use the word white, but that started, and then she responded to that. And even if it did become a racial conversation, do you know how to handle conversations about race? That's what it boils down to, without getting offended. If you know that that's not the case, and you have the statistics and the stat, the all the stuff to back it up, or you have your points or opinion, because all of this is really opinion based. It's about people having opinions. I talked about this before. A lot of people are talking about relationships and talking about marriages and what men do. And a lot of people, some of these people aren't even in relationships, and some people are not even married, but they have a lot to say about marriage. And I just think that if we're going to use that, then everyone would have to have the experience in order to talk about it. So it's really opinion based. It's not about factual anything unless you have all of the stats and to back up your claims. It's all opinion based. Everybody's having an opinion, which I think everybody's entitled. That's what makes it unique, because you can have an opinion on something that you may not have ever even experienced. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just an opinion. So if somebody has an opinion, and it's stereotyped. So if somebody had an opinion about black people doing this with nothing to back it up, it's just an opinion. And if you have statistics to support what you're saying, or you have some information to back it up, you can use that to say, no, this is not what it is. And you can agree to disagree, because nobody's going to convince anybody of the other on the other side to believe what they're saying. So you just got to agree to disagree. Look, I believe this is what it is. This is my opinion. Oh, I believe this because based off these statistics or whatever, it shows that this percentage of people have this. Now, I listen to Anton Daniels. Shout out to Anton. Anton reacts to videos of women and other people who come up, who talk about the statistics of people catching HIV and herpes and how it's an epidemic, and there are a lot of people who are walking around here with it and don't know that they have it. I hear multiple people talk about the diseases within a community, and they specify the Black community a lot of times and how it's on the rise and the numbers are rising and people are getting these diseases. And I don't hear too many people push back against that. But when somebody else outside the race says it, oh my God, everybody's offended. Oh my God, why would you even bring that up? I mean, the same way we could bring up the fact that the majority of white people get EBT, food stamps, the majority of white people do this, do that. There are some people on their side who are going to push back. So But if you know, we know that it exists on each side, it should just be a conversation, in my opinion. But I think, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of weird to see people become emotional over things that y'all know are true. I mean, I think it makes perfect sense for each side to defend their side, but you're going to defend your side, they're going to defend their side. You know what I mean? There's certain things that we know are true, but certain people on the other side are just never going to accept that. And the same way for our side. But when we're talking with each other, there should be some level of camaraderie, shall I say, or understanding within our community. We don't even have that. That's the part I'm saying. We're divided within our community. So of course we're divided amongst other communities, but we're divided within our own community. We can't have a conversation in-house to say, you know what, you're right. Yeah, women, we need to do this. It's when it's just about Black women and men, it's still a big issue because a lot of women don't want any accountability on their own. And I watch a lot of panels where Black women and Black men disagree completely for the most part, where women are defending women no matter what type of behavior they have, and men are saying, no, that's not how it should be. You know, and this is what a lot of Black women do. And this is what, you know, and then they're like, well, this is what Black, and they go against each other the whole time. So what's the difference when somebody else comes in and point out the same issues? Because we're divided within our own community. So it shouldn't matter if somebody come in and say the same thing that mostly men are saying and Black women are pushing against. I don't get it, but let's continue. I hope I'm making sense. Let's continue.
Okay. So
but
what?
You
came
can't
here to talk about.
No. But what happens is if we have a racial conversation, then it makes everybody else. First of all, I don't care about how we look in regardless to money and all them things. I do care about how people respect themselves. So we should be able to have a respectful conversation without making it racial, blatantly racial.
Nobody
not being factual, making it blatant rational.
Okay, well,
y'all didn't give Tiffany as much shit when she made it racial the other day with me.
Well, hey, one second. I want to hear from her and see what she thinks about what we said.
You got a good point.
Well, if I'm being honest with you,
never has a point.
If I'm being honest, I think you guys are overreacting. I think the guys are white knighting a little bit for the women. I don't think we need to get emotional because there's facts about race. And if you can't handle it, I can go. I don't mind.
Yeah, no, but
and listen, and I love Fatty, I love Ali, I love their channel, but I do think there's a bit of that. We watch the panels, and when it's not Pearl or anybody that looks like Pearl on there, there's a lot of disrespect coming from the women on these panels. And let's be honest, there's a lot of disrespect from a lot of the women, and I mean it happens all the time. So it's not about having a respectful conversation, because a lot of the conversations that come from the women is disrespectful, and I mean it is what it is. So it's not even about race, it's about just being respectable in general. And a lot of times we're watching this, that's not happening. And there's the divide between the women and the men on these panels all the time. I'm just saying. And it's from a lot of the ones that's on. It's the same women. The Jazz woman, respectfully, love that she has a perspective, and she should, but a lot of what she says is in direct opposition of what the men stand for. And most of the men on the panel who speak about the nature of women, she has a rebuttal that disagrees with that or comes against it. And I think she's made it about race too. So I don't understand it. I really don't. Just saying. Let's continue.
But Pearl, the thing is, we are not being emotional because let me give you an example of 1 second, please. 1 second, please.
I'm gonna bounce.
No, it's fine. Let me tell you one thing, Pearl, before you go, Pearl. Hey, please, 1 second. So that's the thing, right, Pearl? If I was playing the same game that you are playing, I would say you know about these things because you are the one that dated the black bum, a black homeless man. Right, I would literally come out of the woodwork because I know your story.
God forbid I help.
Right, and these not black women that are just addicted to black bums. You are addicted to a black bum because that was the person that you actually dated for a bunch of years, right?
God forbid I help the homeless.
No, he was not homeless.
No, he actually wasn't, but that's what everyone says.
He was sleeping on your house.
No, it's not the full. I mean, it doesn't matter, but
yes, but my point is this, Pearl. We are treating you with respect. You can definitely touch on race. We can literally do shows about race, put the table to you, and you can do whatever you want. But if we are going to try to either get clippable moments or something like that, we know more about you than you know about us. So if you want to go there, we can go there. I take my gloves off and we can do whatever we want. And if nobody can be offended because of black this and black that, you are going to talk about the time where you were fucking a black homeless man, a fat motherfucker that you were having in your house, right?
Fatty, you're fat too. It's like, you know,
absolutely. You have no titties and no ass. You are mad at me because I have more titties than you. That's why you're mad, right?
We could go back.
That's why you're mad, right? Because I have more titties than you.
So again, I thought we were adults so that we could talk about.
Oh, we are definitely adults. Let me ask you something. What do you think about black fatigue?
All right, so I do appreciate you guys having me on. I really do.
Can you say what you think about black fatigue before you go?
I really did want to do this, but apparently we can't do the facts, data, and statistics. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
If you want to
do my channel, it's just
Pearl, if we came on your show and started talking about white men and white women, you would have had a problem. That's so disingenuous.
Yeah, I don't know, Fatty. I don't know, Ali. I didn't see the problem. I really didn't. I think there's a lot of issues that occur on the panel, even when a non-black person is there, that needs to be addressed when it comes to being respectful, because we see a lot of disrespect amongst the women that are on these panels in general. So I just thought it was a little weird and odd to and then the personal jab about, you know, the person she dated, which I've heard about that. I feel like that was not necessary at all. You know, and to be fair, I think when Jazz said, is that your experience? Is that what you're around, or the people around, as it relates to dating criminals? That was that made it personal. She didn't say, oh, but she's talking about her community of people, because she didn't talk about anything else. And then she responded in the way she did, and then she's bringing up data, statistics, and, you know, factual information. How was that disrespectful? It's the Jazz girl who started cussing, and then the other girl started cussing. Like, not the one cuss word came out of her mouth. And even you don't have to disrespect somebody with cuss words. It could be in many different ways, and I didn't see that happening. If she brought it up, which it was subtly brought up initially when she said, "Is that your experience? Have you had that experience?" Basically asking Pearl if when it wasn't personal, it's supposed to be general. She asked her personally if that was her personal experience, if she's ever dated a man that was a criminal, and that would be in her community. Because I'm just saying, like, that's what she asked. If you've ever been around any people who were criminals, and Pearl responded, she doesn't know very many criminals. So that was the initial conversation. And then it went to the black community, and she's looking at stats, and that's how the stats come up about black people and this and that. But anyway, that's my little 2 cents. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comments, like, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.